In the grand coliseum of Mario games, there are a gazillion different spin-offs and series spanning another gazillion genres. This guy gets around. There's karting and partying and papering. But one series that I feel is often overlooked, especially these days, is the Mario and Luigi series. Ever since I first played Bowser's Inside Story, I was hooked on these games. Every single one of them is a wonderfully goofy and stupidly fun turn-based RPG starring both of the bros and maybe another character or two. Obviously, these games don't have the deepest combat systems or the most gripping story that'll have you shitting your pants. No, they're just so damn fun and charming to play through. Even Paper Jam. They just ooze personality. I mean, look at this. My history with these games all started years ago in the chaotic, flaming hellscape known as first grade indoor recess. A friend of mine whipped out his DS and started playing this Mario game, but it was different to the Mario games my young and twisted mind knew. He was beating up weird crocodiles with Mario and Luigi, and they had hammers. My eyes were glued to the screen. I had to own this game. With some begging and pleading and doing enough chores, soon enough my parents came home with Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. From that point on, I was hooked. I played it constantly on this very Nintendo DSi, ordered fresh from eBay that came in like a beer koozie. And then one day, when playing it at a doctor's appointment for some reason, I somehow lost the cartridge. I had already beaten the game and I was just farming enemies for funsies, but I was still really bummed out. Even back then, I guess I was still a dumbass. While I may have completely lost the game, I had still at least experienced what is widely regarded as the best of the entire Mario & Luigi series. Bowser's Inside Story features the same goofy writing and fun combat as every other game, but everything is really just cranked up a notch on this one. You of course still have the bros as two of the main playable characters, but now Bowser is playable too. You battle with him solo and he's super cool, being a lot more powerful and tanky than the bros. This game also features probably the best villain in the series too, Fawful. He started out as a little henchman goon to Cackletta, the main villain of the first game. Of course, he got beat up by the bros and then exploded or something. But in the sequel, Partners in Time, you can find him secretly brooding and plotting against Mario and Luigi, because he's a little pissed at him. So, Bowser's Inside Story is then his evil plans being set in motion. Fawful is the entire reason the events of the game take place, which is just a really rare example of continuity and kinda character development in a Mario game. So because of that, and his extremely funky and funny way of talking, Fawful remains as one of the best things that come out of the Mario and Luigi games. Despite being evil and creepy, everyone loves this guy. I've mentioned how I love the combat in these games, so let's go ahead and talk about that now. These games are simple turn-based RPGs, but what makes them cool is that you actually have to time your button presses when attacking to deal the most amount of damage. It's nothing crazy or demanding, but it keeps you engaged with what you're doing. The special or bros attacks crank this up a notch by letting Mario and Luigi pull some crazy moves that can be a little tough to execute perfectly, or at least tough for me. You also get to move while on the defense as well. Instead of just standing there and taking it, enemy attacks can be dodged or even countered by properly timing your jumps or hammer swings. This ensures that no matter whose turn it is, you are always paying attention to what's going on in the game. As much as I love other RPGs, like Pokemon, sometimes they can just turn into mash the A button simulators. Mario and Luigi never turns into a boring slog. Every battle is fun and dynamic, especially the boss fights. Those guys always have the most unique attacks to dodge and some crazy stuff going on. Using Bowser's Inside Story as an example again, some boss fights in that game involve Bowser beating the shit out of some people, and eventually vacuuming them up. Then it's up to Mario and Luigi to finish them off since they're inside of Bowser, hence the title of the game. It's just really unique stuff you don't see every day. And now the jump to the 3DS. When I first caught wind of a new Mario and Luigi game being released, I knew I had to own it. And I do. I didn't lose it this time. And yeah, I played this game so damn much. While not reaching the same highs as the previous game, Mario & Luigi Dream Team is still a wildly solid entry, and probably my second favorite out of all of them. This game takes place on Pillow Island, and yeah, it's spelled like that, where you gotta stop Bowser and Phantasma. this game's new villain. He's pretty cool as a villain, nothing too crazy, but his boss fight and music are fucking awesome. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take a real quick detour just to mention how outstanding every single piece of music is in every single one of these games. I could go on for hours and hours about all of my favorite tracks. Just know, they're awesome, and it's some of the best out of any Mario game ever. This shit is so good, it doesn't even belong in a Mario game, but it's awesome that it does. But yeah, this game is all about exploring the island, both in the real world and the dream world, using the power of Luigi and his narcolepsy or something. Seriously, he falls asleep an instant and already there's a big old dream portal for you to enter. It's concerning. And that brings us to Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, the last main entry in the series, because after that came 2 remakes. Now, a crossover between the Paper Mario series and the Mario and Luigi series should be a slam dunk. Both of these series have so many fun characters, the possibilities are literally endless. But for some reason, the only characters in this game are just normal-ass Mushroom Kingdom people and their paper counterparts. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, all the Toads, Kamek, etc. There are no prominent characters from either series, except for Starlo, who's this little guy, and they've been Mario and Luigi's little helper buddy since Inside Story. Toadette and Nabbit are here, I guess. Seriously, all the Paper Mario stuff has like no effect on the game. They could have just been like normal human clones of all the characters. Could have been like Mario and Luigi clone chaos or something, I don't know. While the story and a lot of the charm is very weak this time around, the core gameplay remains as fun as ever, especially since you now add Paper Mario to your team. And there's still a lot of fun moments and sequences. Oh yeah, and just Paper Mario. No Paper Luigi, which is still a bizarre decision to me. They even make fun of it on the back of the box. Can you stop 2 Bowsers, rescue 2 princesses, and manage 1 Luigi? Hey, fuck you, Luigi's awesome! But this provides a fun gimmick to set this game apart, and I really do like how Paper Mario plays differently in battle compared to the 2 humans over there. It's just, when you take a step back and look at all 5 games in the series, Paper Jam really does stick out, and not in a good way. Well, that's okay. Not everyone can be a total 10 out of 10. So, where did Alpha Dream take this series next? Well, in late 2017, they released a remake of the first game, Superstar Saga, on the 3DS. Now, I do not own this game. I played Superstar Saga on the Wii U Virtual Console, so I didn't really feel like buying it again. And also, it was 2017. The Switch was out. I mean, everyone kinda stopped caring for the 3DS at this time. And also, this game released just a few weeks before Super Mario Odyssey, so it definitely flew under the radar for a lot of people. Okay, Alpha Dream, the Switch is selling like crack, and you could easily put a Mario game out on it early on in its lifespan. So, what are you gonna do next? Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story remake on the 3DS in 2019. Because of that, this title holds the distinction of being one of the worst-selling Mario games in the entire franchise. By 2019, it was all about the Switch. No one cared about the 3DS, that was old shit and piss. Even I didn't buy this game, despite loving the original on DS and losing it years prior. And yeah, I'm sure as most of you know, the relatively poor sales of both of these remakes led to the unfortunate bankruptcy of Alpha Dream, the developer behind the series. And since 2019, this series has just been radio silent. Superstar Saga is one of the GBA games included with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, but that's pretty much it. And like, come on, the expansion pack. So with this series seemingly dead, why did I make this video? I love these games. There's really nothing else quite like them. All of them, even this guy, are guaranteed good times for everyone, unless you really hate RPGs. It is truly upsetting to see how Alpha Dream pretty much completely blew up because of making really faithful and quality remakes on a console that no one cared about anymore. So my hope is that one day this series will make a grand return. I would be thrilled if Nintendo themselves or some other trusted developer revived the series for modern audiences. I always thought it would be so cool to have an HD Mario and Luigi game on Switch, maybe even have it be co-op. One player controls Mario, the other Luigi. Having to cooperate during combat and overworld exploration / platforming would be such a cool and unique experience, especially for a turn-based RPG. But that's just a little pipe dream I have. There's not really any new Mario RPGs being made today. I mean, we have the Super Mario RPG remake and the Thousand Year Door remake coming out later this year, but those are remakes. Those are brand new games. And nowadays, the Paper Mario series is kinda off doing its own thing. And that's like the only surviving Mario RPG series. The Mario and Luigi games mattered. They still matter to me, and I'm sure they also matter to a bunch of people around the world, maybe even to you watching this video. It just sucks to see how it all ended. The developer behind them went bankrupt. They don't exist anymore. Oh, just please make a new game in this series, please, please, please. This series gave birth to that random Mario and Luigi gibberish that everyone loves. I think that's a good enough reason alone to bring back these games. Anyway, that'll probably do it for this video. Since I suck at making conclusions, I've come up with something new that I'm gonna try out right about now in order to